I'm about to fall in the sofa. Hey, oh my God, my arm. Okay, let's see. I want to try to talk on this. I read a post today, and I love social media for several reasons. What I think the social media posts that I love the most are posts that are vulnerable. Because we can post whatever we want the public to see, to view from us, but it doesn't really show all the facets of our life because we're going to only post what's good and kind of hold back what's bad. That's kind of what we do, human nature. But there are people out there that are vulnerable enough that to post something that hopefully other people can relate to. And it shouldn't be a surprise that most people can relate to the ups, but most times the downs in life. The not being prepared, feeling lonely, feeling rejected, feeling tired, feeling weary, upset, broken, abused, afraid, all of those things. That's my dryer child. All of those things that we all go through in life, and we try to deal with it as best as we can. A lot of times we don't have the tools that we need to be able to get through the things that we're going through, and we don't want to involve people, or people are too busy, or people don't understand what we're going through, so we tend to just hide out and mask what we're going through. But anyway, I just read a post, and it was a vulnerable post, so I just wanted to just talk about briefly what I had went through as far as parenting. um, we all have different parenting styles, but I just want to get into raising children. Like, man, if you really want to raise your kids the right way, um, and give them everything that they need, not materialistically, but just inside of them to be able to, be better people and to live a better life, it's a lot of work. Anyway, so this would have a few years ago, God gave me what to do. So, we're raising kids, we're hitting our head against the wall, we're talking to them, they're not listening. It just seems like it's going in one ear out the other. I'm sure when we were kids, our parents felt the same way, right? But God told me one day, He said, you're only going to be able to reach them through vulnerability. He says, because sometimes we can have an idea of what we think we're doing, but if you're not able to reach the heart of your child, it is like hitting your head against the wall. And so He began to show me that in any relationship, not just parent child, but in any relationship, there has to be a level of vulnerability in order to reach the heart. Because at the end of the day, really, we're all trying to reach the heart. That's where we're trying to reach to. We go about it different ways, and a lot of it backfires. So He gave me an example of, He says, you're going to have to start to share with them how you feel, how it makes you feel when they do X, Y, and Z. Oh man, let me tell you. So as a parent, and even how we grew up, that was unorthodox for me, because I'm like, I'm the parent. I'm not gonna go around and be like, oh my God, you made me feel blah 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 when you said blah. Like, no, I'm the boss over here, okay? But at this time, what I was doing wasn't working. So I began to, little steps, start to share with them, how when they did something or when they didn't do something, how it made me feel, or if I was upset, or even if it hurt my feelings. I began to share with them my vulnerability about different things that they were doing or not doing towards me. And so, no, it didn't change. But I was on assignment, okay? So this revelation God gave me, I was gonna do it and look stupid, basically. And I went back to God several times and said, "This is stupid." But let me tell you what it did. I thought it was gonna be more for them, but it actually ended up being more for me to be able to express these things that as parents we're going through, because we're supposed to be, all strong, and like parents don't go through anything. We got to handle everything. And like, we don't have feelings, and we suppress these feelings because we got to keep riding. We got to keep things going. We don't have time to sit and cry and sulk. But it began to open me up even me up to be able to understand what was inside of me. But I did go back to God, and it's like, no, no, this is not working. I feel like a punk as a parent. And he also told me at that time, he said, you can't expect people to recognize the change in you. He says, this is something that you're doing for yourself. You can't expect them to, one, recognize the change and the sincerity in your heart, and two, to be able to respond to it. Because people look at history. People are looking at trends. They're looking at what you used to do and how you used to do things. So you can't expect people to jump on board and be on your side. He's like, so you're going to have to just lay that to the side. This assignment that you're going through by being vulnerable is not about them. It's about you. You're going to have to do it because you know that it's the right thing to do. And I could tell you, it was about almost 8 months of me kind of, now I ain't never go to them crying now, okay, but I did go to them vulnerable. This is how I feel as a parent. And then also what I would do, if I made a mistake, if I did something wrong, if I said something to them, I went back and I apologized. I'm like, hey, I'm your mother. I love you. I'm trying to do the best I can. I don't know everything, but look, I'm ride or die trying to do what I can to be able to help y'all. Sometimes I mess up. I make a mistake. You know what? I'm sorry. Messed up. Sorry. Hey, seriously, I'm sorry. So it allowed me to kind of tear down this mantle that kids have in their head that moms or dads don't, or we won't, well, kids know our mistakes. They just too afraid to say it. But it kind of broke down that wall that parents can't apologize, or parents are human, or parents actually love us. I think when we kind of prevent that gap of saying, oh, I'm never sorry, or I never do anything, it makes the kids feel like they can't relate to us, and it kind of just has that gap. Anyway, so I would do that. I did a lot of that, a lot of just asking them, to forgive me, for making mistakes. I did that for about 8 months, but about the 8-month mark, I began to notice the change in my children and the change in myself. They were softer towards me when it came to whatever things that were going on. Didn't get the attitudes as much as I did before. Didn't get the resistance as much as I did before. So I began to see the breaking up the fallow ground of the heart. That takes time to break up that wall that we build as people because of whatever circumstances we're going through. And that's been about 3 years, I could say. And my relationship with my kids it's turned around, honestly, miraculously, through vulnerability. I still am vulnerable. Then I had to come to a season in my life where I had to I had to balance that, because you can't be so vulnerable, because eventually, human nature, then too, they'll just walk right over you. So then you have to, God allowed me to kind of balance the two, as far as knowing my role and my authority as a parent, and the boundaries that I set as a parent, but as well as also providing grace for them.